Good evening, everybody. Can you believe it's day 19? So we really only have 2 more days left. Feels like it went fast, although, deep down, it's good to take a break from a Zoom call every night at this time, right? Today was our second day of the Rebirth Workshop in the DC area. Long day, but very meaningful day. And yeah, I had this inspiration in the middle of the day. I called my husband and I said, David, when you come, can you bring, the sweater I got from True Mother? Just have a feeling I should bring it. And so he brought it. And then this evening, I had a chance to read a letter Mother wrote to Father at his 7th anniversary Seonghwan. It was a very profound experience to be wearing Mother's sweater and to read, this kind of really deep-hearted letter from True Mother to True Father. All about, the challenges they've been through and the love that they have for one another that is eternal. Really a profound experience. And so I hope as the Rebirth Workshop starts to travel that all of you get a chance to go, because what we've been reading about and studying is just scratching the surface of really what's on Mother's heart. Okay, so we have 2 readings today. One is, they're both kind of short and both kind of related to each other, and I wanted to just get it all in there. The first one is a reading I'll read. The second one is a short video that we'll watch from Mother, because I always like to do that when we can. So first, this is Mother's speech from the victory celebration just earlier this year after all the events happened in May in Korea. And some of you were probably there. I remember being there. Mother was a very happy and bright spirit that day. And she starts with the best message ever. Everyone, I love you. And she continues and says, upon the appearance of the true parents, which was both Heavenly Parents' dream and humanity's hope, all couples, including Chunoguk blessed couples and Chunbo couples, become one and serve Heavenly Parent in a substantial way. I am hearing and coming to know their victorious reports of how they invested their utmost. This blessing is not just for us now. The substantial environment must be established for Heavenly Parent. To realize such a heavenly unified Korea and heavenly unified world in substance, increased effort and devotion are needed. Everyone living today should know about Chunwanggung and Chunil Sanctum, the realization of humanity's inspiring and long yearned for dream. We need to show and inform people and provide them with the opportunity to give the best they can in the role of Heavenly Parents, sons, and daughters. For this, I know you have all worked very hard up until now. Even I have had really difficult times when I could not do anything about the situation. If I reflect on those occasions, however, I realize, that Heavenly Parent was with me. All of you have probably had similar experiences. Let us strive to do our very best. And then, following that is a video message from True Mother. Here we go. So this is a meeting Mother had with the Korean leaders on June 9th, earlier this year.
Of the 2 main providential organizations offered flower baskets to True Mother. True Mother then delivered precious words of life to all.
새 출발하는 우리들을 하늘이 모든 나쁜 것을 씻어버리고 새롭게 깨끗한 몸마음으로 출발할 수 있도록 축복해 주셨습니다. 우리의 책임이 막중해. 지금 시대는 천일국 시대야. 참 부모님의 승리로 인해 천일국 안착을 하였고 천일국의 주인이 되시는 하늘 부모님을 모실 수 있는 성전을 봉헌해 드린 이때 어떻게 해야 되겠어? 하늘 부모님의 환경권은 중심 나라의 국가 복귀야. 이 나라 모든 백성들이 정치인은 물론이고 이 나라의 주인은 하늘 부모님이시며 하늘 부모님을 알리고 축복해주는 참 부모가 주인임을 알아야 돼. 그래서 세계 복귀 한 기준에서 하늘 부모님을 크게 모셔드려야 되는 거잖아. 그렇게 할 거지? 이번만큼은 내가 여러분을 믿고 여러분이 하고자 하는 것에 내가 적극 120% 응원할 거야.
Maybe you can see why I wanted to include that video message, particularly that last line where it's interesting. Let me just pull it up here. The phrasing of it says, "This time I will believe in you and I will actively support you at 120% in whatever you undertake." So first of all, she's saying, I'm with you more than 100%. Whatever you're doing, I'm with you. But there's an interesting phrase, like, why did she say this time? And, you know, I think it's something to pray about and think, what is mother really saying? And she doesn't talk for long periods of time, right? So I try to pay attention to the phrasing, and of course it's translation, so you got to put all that together. But when I think about it, you know, I feel like she's also acknowledging that there has been some challenges in the past, and that we haven't had the result that we're looking for, that mother's been looking for this whole time. And I love that mother makes space to acknowledge that we don't have to be the community that blindly says, oh, everything's been 100% perfect this whole time. And, you know, if you don't understand that, that's just because you're not, you're not united enough, or you didn't pray enough. But she, you know, recognizes that things haven't been easy. And in the earlier speech, or earlier, she talks about, we've been given an opportunity to make a new start, particularly because of the Chunwangung. We're being given a new start. And how many new starts have True Parents given us, right? It feels like as from a young age, I remember many ceremonies where, you know, you had to burn something that was important to you as an offering. I don't even remember what that was. I was like 6 or 7 when that happened, but there's always something where True Parents are extending a grace to us, and we can take it for granted really easily and not recognize actually they're extending such a forgiving parental heart to us. And it's time for us to no longer make True Parents do that for us. It's time for us to take responsibility. And that's kind of the message, the energy I get from both of these readings from Mother, is that in this one, she's talking to Korean leaders. So she's saying again, over and over, right? What's one of the most important things Mother's thinking about is North and South Korea reuniting. And it's no longer just something we talk about, that we dream about. She's really serious about seeing some kind of change happen, especially in the next 2 years. What can happen in the next 2 years? She's giving us a very short timeline. And now that Mother's speaking like this, then I feel like it opens up heaven, and we have to really pay attention to it so we can respond to it. The other thing I wanted to, comment on is the last part of the first reading. And she says, I know you have all worked very hard up until now. And Mother says these kinds of things where she's acknowledging, you know, how much we've been investing, which is so comforting, right? It's not easy to be living the life we're living and still pay for, your home and your groceries and take care of your family and then do public mission. It's not easy to balance all those things. And so I feel she's acknowledging it's really hard, and I'm grateful for it. But then she says something interesting. She says, even I have had really difficult times when I could not do anything about the situation. Difficult times when even she couldn't do anything about the situation. What does that mean? And what experiences has Mother been holding on in her heart that we don't know about, that we don't understand yet? But she has been patient, and we didn't really know. We don't really know. Of course, maybe especially as women, you get a glimpse of it and you have a sense of what it is, but how much has Mother really shared her honest experiences with us is very, very, very rare occasions. I was talking to one of the second gen at the Rebirth workshop, and she was reflecting, she did 3 years of GPA, and they teach True Parents course, and she was like, yeah, but after this Rebirth workshop, I'm realizing that 99% of True Parents course was True Father's course. And then there's like a little bit about True Mother, and usually what they say is we don't know that much about True Mother's life because we haven't heard very much about her. But now is the time for that to shift, for that to open, so we can understand the fullness of our true parents and the fullness of our Heavenly Parent. And then after that, Mother says, if I reflect on those occasions, so these occasions where she couldn't change anything, and it was very difficult and she had to work hard, she says she realized that Heavenly Parent was with me. And she acknowledges that many of us have probably had similar experiences. So that's kind of, I think, a nugget of wisdom to be holding on to as we're nearing the completion of the 40-day period Mother's asked us to offer during this time. We're supposed to be, offering Jeongseon, reaching out to distant members, doing outreach work, witnessing, having our own personal transformation. But for what, right? This is supposed to be a kickoff for us, because Mother's now looking, especially Korea, Japan, and America, a 6-month time period. So the end of 6 months, the end of the year is the end of that 6 months, where she's wanting to see, what have we done? How much do we understand Mother's heart? How much are we responding? How much are we allowing heaven to show us the miracles? So for me, it's like, okay, this has been a training period, and now we really have to show up. We really have to go out there and meet the people that God has prepared. So the more I hold on to Mother's words, the more comforted I feel, even though it feels like a daunting task sometimes. We are going to hear from some ladies from the South region, and I'm very happy to welcome our GWPN representative from Dallas, Mrs. Laura Hornbeck, to share her reflections with us. Welcome, Laura. Please share with us.
Hello. Hi. How can I get my face off this screen, though, watching myself?
I could stop spotlighting you. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Distracting. So I'm just really grateful to have this opportunity. Honored, really, very honored. And, it's really hard to focus. To figure out what can I say to really contribute to these deep discussions that have been going on this time period. And really, I have to confess, I've been all over the world with it. I've got notes and things like that. And it's very interesting, though, when I was able to kind of focus and pray, I got this image of the offering that Abraham made on the altar, when he cut these animals in half and they separated them in 2 parts and drained the blood. And I got this image of myself and the rest of you, especially first generation, of really being that kind of, having that kind of division. And I really strongly in my own self experienced that feeling of dividing between my, heavenly side and my evil side, my bad side. And I really was an example, I think, of that in my life. And then meeting the unification movement in California was quite a shock, but it really was obvious to me that I needed this kind of, I needed to join, and I needed to become a part of this movement. So unlike Mimi, who talked about how she just jumped into it as soon as she met the church, she was just ready to leave everything behind. And I was sort of the opposite. It took me quite a few months to decide to give up my measly little stuff, my car and my little apartment. And it took me a long time because I was pretty well immersed in that secular world. But anyway, I never looked back or regretted. I certainly knew that I was not, I was leaving behind a really bunch of junk. Somehow, you get to a point where you realize that. So anyway, I know there are people out there who are also in the same position, that we were, that, and I was so moved by what Kaylee shared about the other night with the Bridge of Peace ceremony, that lady just coming on her own through Evite, and then Caroline sharing about meeting all these people. What we have gained, what we have witnessed, is how we become a witness, and how to really honestly share how we have changed, what we have gained, what we were given, and how to share that with others. And believe me, I'm still struggling to find that way. To really figure that out in a really honest, but a very vertical way. And so I'm grateful again for Kaylee's conditions, and everybody who is making these conditions. I know this is what we do, the invisible realm. We don't see it. All of us have had these experiences where, how did that happen? How did I meet this person, or how did this great thing happen? So God is really in charge. That's one of the things I do appreciate so much about this condition. Mother is really stressing, it's God who's working. It's not us so much. And we have to just make the condition, but we also have to let go and let God. So, So anyway, that's that's hardly anything that I wrote down, except that my this whole idea of offering. But and the other point I really was, each of us has our talent. Some of us are really bold, assertive people who can go out and speak anywhere. And some of us are more shy and retiring, but we all have our different talents. And I was grateful to be able to use my talent in writing and English language skills. And I'm working on doing more of that, and I just want to, I'm just so grateful that the Mother really is, she does acknowledge that. She does appreciate everybody who's sincere and really, and again, I'm very concerned about our country. I can't believe some of the things that are being accepted culturally. I'm just very concerned, and I know though that the shining, we have to have a positive shining, the principle of creation, right? We're going to show the joy and wonder of what it means to be a true woman, true man, and true couples, true children. And so I'm just so grateful that we can point to that ideal. Nobody else really has it. They have parts of it, but they really don't have what we've been given from true parents. So let's go. I know we can. I also want to really honor all of you. All of our sisters are so precious. But just to respect and really learn to go beyond any past whatevers, and we had with it between among one another, and just really honestly revere one another. So that's it.
Wow. Thank you, Laura. I mean, I love that you said it wasn't hardly what you prepared on your paper, but it felt like a very spirit-driven sharing, especially just this last point, just honoring one another and going beyond anything that's been there in the past. It's really profound. Thank you so much, Laura. Let's give her another round of applause.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So we are going to hear a bit of an update from our Subregion 4 coordinator about some of the things that have been happening over in Arizona, which is always very exciting. So please join me in welcoming Glenda Lambert to share with us what's going on.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. I'm so grateful because I can see Ria. I thought she was working today. Yay. She can fill me in if I miss something. I just have to say that I just need to say this before I continue. The Saturday Bridge of Peace in Washington was fabulous. I hope he's going to send the recording soon because I'm getting text after text that where is this recording? I need to see it. So I hope we can get it this week, and please take a look. It's just wonderful. Now, honestly speaking, you know, we're going to have an incredible Bridge of Peace November 4th in Arizona. Everybody's invited. So if you are in Las Vegas, you want to drive over, you know, to Phoenix, you are welcome. Or even if you are in the East Coast, guess what? We're going to have the president, Kayleigh, and visiting us too. So it is just so wonderful. And we have an amazing team, by the way. We're going to be working with UPF, Dr. Stappenberg and his wife, Jane. She's right here on the video too. We're going to work with our fantastic Ria, our showcase girl, she's just amazing. We're also going to be working with Romina and Nadim, because they represent Family Fed. So it's going to be a whole group of us. And of course, our Global Women ladies, they already said, they already know what to do. So we're really excited about it. Now we're still working on the venue. That was the first time we really tried to get a good venue, but we have 4 good places. Also, I mustn't forget, we have Veronica. So we have the intergenerational group working together to really make it a wonderful event. So I have to say, it always takes a lot of work and prayer and everything else. So for the next 3 months, we're going to be really working on that, see who we can have. We already have a few VIPs that want to come. And it's so funny. We have a friend of mine who's a councilwoman, and she said, oh, I want to come. Definitely put me there. And then her secretary emailed and said, can I come too? So it's so interesting, when people hear Bridge of Peace. I think that word is just so amazing, So I'm looking forward. I'm going to keep you up to date what's happening, but, please keep us in your prayer. I'm looking forward to see the Bridge of Peace in Chicago, so we can copy a little bit from that too. But at the same time, we're so grateful. And that is all I want to report for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenda. Yeah, the point that Glenda brought up about, bringing a councilwoman, actually, I was just sharing with her that we were supposed to have a councilwoman in the DC program, but she canceled last minute, which was, one of those major, like, pulling your hair out moments. What are we supposed to do now? Glenda gave me good advice that the right people who were supposed to be there were there. But I do just want to say that, the working with our women leaders, I think, is something that's really on Mother's mind. And so one of the goals that we want to start counting, that we've been talking with Moriko-san, is giving Mother's memoir to our women leaders. And so the more that we can introduce, Mother's leadership, Mother's culture, peace building culture, and share about who Mother is, then we're doing our job that Mother needs us to do by creating the witnessing environment, laying the groundwork so that eventually everybody can come to know Heavenly Parent and True Parent. And I know the Arizona team is totally the right team to lead us in that area. So very grateful to Ria and Glenda and the intergenerational team that they have. Very, very exciting. Okay, so we are gonna go ahead and switch over to our prayer time, but let's do the Mimi tradition, and I'll take a deep breath. Because as Laura was saying, we're laying a condition and a foundation we may not even be aware of spiritually, right? We may not be aware of what we're doing, but the more sincere and determined our prayers are, the more I think heaven and spirit world can respond to us. So let's open up that kind of space in our hearts and welcome Laura to offer our representative prayer for tonight.
Okay. Yes, let's pray. Our dearest Heavenly Parent, we're come together tonight, as in the last few weeks, and gather as women, sisters, your daughters, and so grateful to be women, to be able to know this realm of heart that our true mother has, that we're all meant to inherit, to develop, and show. So again, thank you for these sisters here tonight who pray, who sometimes it seems we're just wandering in the wilderness, just like Mother described, trying to find a needle in a thunderstorm. Sometimes it seems we're just going blind, and yet we never gave up. She never gave up. True parents never gave up, and you certainly never gave up on this world, this crazy world. We're so deeply sorry that we have caused you so much grief. This beautiful creation. And so we really want to become beautiful ourselves, as fully beautiful as we can, to inspire beauty in other women, and really support the men in our lives, honor and respect them, and again, honor and respect one another first. So we pray together tonight, grateful to be able to know these wonderful truths. So we want to really multiply them in the world, because the world is desperately in need of it. And I thank you so much for this chance to be together in this wonderful technology that we share. We can just see each other. It's amazing. No distance anymore. So thank you again, and grateful to be here, and our parents, and Larry and Laura Hornbeck. Amen and Aju.
Aju. Thank you, Laura. And let's do our 4-minute unison prayer. So feel free to unmute yourself and offer your prayer at this time.
Also, loving Heavenly Parent, thank you so
Thank you so much for being the call of the brothers.
Thank you for this day. Thank you for at least here tonight. For new parents, given us this organization, WFWP, which is recognized around the world, which it helps people the problems in their lives. Pray with the mothers perspective of this world. Take it into our own kingdom. Transform it into your kingdom of heaven on this earth. Loving us and caring for all of us so well. Bringing us closer together through this 21-day prayer. A couple more days. We're really going to fulfill great awareness will in our movement. Sisterhood will organization through this, and Elizabeth will be achieved more quickly when it comes to the Korea, which needs to be unified, restored. Otherwise, there should be no place for your
responsibility and day by day.
So we have to accomplish that. We pray that as leaders here in America working in the front lines with community leaders, with politicians, we have so many wonderful friends. We could just harvest these people and let them restore them back to you. really comforted
Pray for
heart.
that.
You survive in
So
very
much, and definitely a time
many parents.
we can
Everyone deserves to
support
That's
each
therapy,
other and also
therapy
support
and
each other.
support.
You know how hard she's working
And really take
frontline has been.
and your
You know, recognizable
every day
efforts are because
we can
knowing the truth alone is not
understand
going
your
to ultimate
us every
solution
day,
to
and you want us to
problems. We have to family together. Let them receive your blessing and they're forgiven of their sin and the opportunity to change this world.
you listen to us.
You know, it's going to require patience and time and a lot of money,
We offer this
everything else that we've ever seen
assistance.
in any kind of successful
Give us energy, Father, so we
operation.
can
But
maintain
because of the
our
importance of
relationship
it,
with you,
we don't want to
and
waste
maintain
time
our
on
relationship with the family,
about our
and us
failures and
with the
shortcomings. We just want
study.
to move forward
Very
and
much,
especially the
that
youth, let them
you want us to really
open their hearts and
you want us
speak
to
about
really live
that they're working
according to
with,
your
even though it's a
love,
great
love.
personal
That was the story that we
struggle
don't really
but
we
it's
want
because
to
it's
help
hard to
us
even
be
neighbor
able
or
to
trust neighbor
understand
anymore.
more your desire, more your
But this is the
idea
land where
can accomplish.
the land of the heart, the land of the
Very much for you.
spiritual peace, and it will change very soon once people
The idea that we can
learn and they want to
really
create that environment
other
around
hand
them
over hand, we can
eliminate
make
this pain and suffering
strong
that they've
work
endured
against
from happening over and over
really
again.
there
Many
to
times innocent,
destroy your
guilty
to have
innocence in
strong
opposition to each other.
against
Can
this
all become innocent
false
allow
idea.
ourselves.
Thank you, everybody, for your beautiful, beautiful prayers. Before we close, I just want to remind our Subregion 1 Women's Federation leaders that Subregion 1 is having a meeting directly following this to give some updates and welcome our new subregional coordinator. And I also want to let everybody know that if you didn't already receive a memo, the international memo came out just earlier today that the anniversary of Father Songhua will be held Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. So it's an unusual time. They're doing it midnight on the 1st, their time in Korea. So for East Coast, it's 11, West Coast even earlier. So you can make some plans for that. And I'm sure your pastors will send out those links and details. But definitely mark it on your calendar, which means we'll still have our final session together that night. So I'll keep you posted on what we'll do that night, but we'll make sure it's a fantastic ending to our 21 days. So thank you, everybody. Remember, Subregion 1, stay on, and the rest of you have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Bye.